And ultimately, they have free will, and we don't make the decisions for our kids.
That's good.
But I'm going to give them all the prep I can and to try to get, like I said, into their heart before those moments happen.
That's really
and they're
good.
thinking through, okay, what do I want to do? And let me have a plan.
Yeah.
Let me have a plan for how I'm going to handle that.
Right.
And just walking them through that, I think, is so helpful.
Welcome to the Stronger Families podcast, where we believe that strong families produce strong cultures. I'm Emily Free, one of your hosts, and today you're going to hear from real people with real stories and God-centered wisdom to help strengthen your family. Whatever season you're in, we believe that this is going to encourage you. So let's build stronger families together.
All right, welcome back to the Stronger Families podcast. My name is Justin Free. This is my amazing bride.
Yeah, thank you.
Emily.
Okay, sing it. It's me. And we have the amazing Cabantacs here.
Cabantacs.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome back to the pod.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Hey, today, man, we get to talk about something that I think has been kind of a common thread, not only in your family, in your home, but as someone who's looking on at your kids, at your family. This is something that shines bright. I don't know if it's brightest, but it does shine bright. And it's, how do you champion your kids and all that they have going on, their dreams, the things that they are gifted in, talented in, the things that they care about, while not losing your family values, while holding firm to the things that you know are important. And so I'm really excited to dive into that with you today. So, Em, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so the first question, when you look at all three of your girls, how unique they are, the different dreams that they have, how have you learned to parent and champion them uniquely to each one of them?
So I think it started for us like early on, right? You can see your kids' personalities. And you guys probably already see with yours. They're just so different. I remember being pregnant with Quinn. That's our third, and thinking, okay, well, she's gonna be like one of them,
right?
Like she has to be. There's no other alternative.
Right.
And then she's born, and it's like, okay, it's like a little triangle.
Yes.
I guess if you had four with y'all, then it's gonna be a square. Like they're just all their own person. The Lord literally gives them who they're gonna be. So, but you got to like see those things in on the strengths of each person. So, in like early on, disciplining them even. What works for one is not the same that's going to work for another. You know, we always joked like to spank Madden like broke her into 2 million pieces, and there were times it was appropriate and it's what you needed to do.
Right.
London, a little more of the personality of like, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna get to spank him. Worth it. Spank me.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Like
we felt
it'll
that.
be over in a few
those.
minutes.
Yeah.
And or even like Madden, you send her to her room. She's going to lay on her bed and read.
Yeah.
London, you send her to her room. That's the worst punishment you could give her. She wants to be with the people.
Wow.
It is like you have hurt her so bad.
Yes.
Okay, I will do anything. Yes, let me out of here.
Yes.
They're just different. And you just learn that in them. And so and that applies to the ways you're going to coach them with their friends or coach them in their schoolwork or coach them in any of the things that come up that you're going to have to see what works. And sometimes it's trial and error. Like you don't know that right away.
So much
but
error.
you're going to learn, okay, this doesn't work for them. With disciplining, we always like whatever a consequence, it was not just like, this is what it's going to be no matter what. It's like, okay, it needs to matter to that kid. And if this doesn't hurt, it's not really a consequence for them. If it's not something that's going to make them think twice about it, you know, so it just can look different based on the kids, I think.
Yeah, that's good.
And just learning them. So that's the answer to that, in our opinion, I think.
Yeah, learning them. Yeah, right. Learning what makes them, what the punishment is versus giving them props, right, and helping their confidence. One quick thing with Quinn has dyslexia, and we've known that for a long, long time. But for the longest time before that, I didn't really know. I'll be honest with you, I thought she was just the least smartest of all our kids. And I'm like, what is it? You don't know your colors, you don't know this. So when Jenny was able to figure out how to get her diagnosed, it really helped me understand how to teach, parent Quinn. Fast forward to now, in the way that I see Quinn adjust in life with her school and how she talks with me and Jenny and how she organizes things at the house. I'm like, okay, I know how to do it now because that's Quinn in a dyslexic world, right? I'm like, okay, this is it. But if we didn't have that, I think I would be very frustrated at her and who she is because it wouldn't have come out. So that even just the outside help has helped us learn how to make our kids more kind of conquer the day.
Yeah, that's really good. I love that you mentioned learning your kids because that takes what we talked about before, intentionality.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to slow down. You have to watch them, talk to them, communicate to them.
That's right.
And yeah, it's just good.
And so we do have 4, but 3 of them, 2 of them can't even talk. So
you're still figuring that out.
Still learning them.
Yep.
But even the oldest, I feel like, is now at a point at 4, almost 5, where you start to see a lot of the, hey, we're going to sit down, we're going to have a convo, or this is going to be a discipline moment, no questions asked. This is going to be a, hey, let's talk about what just happened, instead of just like, he has no emotional awareness to be able to process. And so we're just now getting into that stage where it's more than just like spank or time alone for 2 minutes, or you know what I mean? So it's great to hear you guys talk about.
And you can do so much more of that. You're already getting there because you can talk to a 4-year-old. He does know. You can talk about, right and wrong and what caused the situation, and that's only going to become more. And it was always really important to me. I mean, really important that my kids understand the why behind any rule of our home, or like when we said yes to certain things, or when we said no to certain things, which we said no to so many things that everyone else around us said yes to. And like, there was always a reason, and I wanted them to understand. It doesn't mean they're always like leaned in, like, tell me, Mom, more. What does the Bible say about that? But like, there is a reason. We didn't make arbitrary decisions because it's how we felt at the time, or we wanted to make their life harder. It's like, no, there's a why that this matters, and here's how I think it affects you or your heart or our family or whatever it was. Like, and not every conversation's an hour-long theological conversation, but like dripping those things onto our kids every chance we get, I really think affects their heart decisions later on. Because our goal is that they're eventually making those decisions along with like the Holy Spirit in their life on their own, because we're not there for all those decisions, especially where our kids are. But like they've understood that process of how you figure out, when you're presented with this or this, I can do this or this.
I love that you say that, because the easy thing to do is no.
That's right.
Well, why? Well, because I'm the mom, and I said no. Like, that's way easier than,
100%.
well, because, Betty, this is what our family believes, and this is what we stand for. And in the Bible, like, that is way harder than just, well, because I'm the mom.
And sometimes at Target, the answer needs to be no, and they better listen to you, and that better be the expectation. We're not sitting down cross-legged at Target and having a conversation, and I want that obedience quickly in that moment, but like to circle it back if it's something that needs circled back for them to understand that. So
that's really good.
Bravo.
Hitting on the obedience, how have you seen the younger year discipline fight for obedience play out in 15, 18, and 19, or whatever your kids are now?
I think in so many ways that consistency early on is like really the only thing that's going to lead to where, they get to where they are today, and you're seeing the fruits of that a little bit. Like, that's one thing that I feel like did pretty well. I'm not saying we were perfect at it, but we were really together. Like, we're going to be consistent. Yeah. We were really big on expectations, that our kids would know what to expect. You see families where you can just see when there's like the floundering of like the kids don't know the expectations laid out for them. So it's like when the mom doesn't feel like addressing it, it's fine, and then all of a sudden it annoys the mom, and then they're hollering about it, and it's like that kid is like awash with no anger. They don't know, like knowing what to expect. If you do this, there's this consequence, or here's what we expect from you, and just that consistency. I think they're looking for that. And we all have heard that the kids are looking for boundaries, but they really are. They want to know, I can go to here. And that when we say this is going to happen, this is what happens. Like, it's how they're learning the world and the boundaries of where I can go and where I can't go, and what's safe and what I can't. And so just trying to be really consistent. We always, we've led tons of parenting life groups and all kinds of things over the years, and we have always cautioned younger families, like, if you say it, you have to follow through. They will pick you up in a moment's notice of weakness if they learn, okay, you say it, but you're not really going to mean it. So if you're at a restaurant with your 2-year-old and you're like, if you do that again, we're leaving. You better be prepared to pick that kid up, and we're going to wait in the car while the rest of you finish your meal. And man, you might later be like, well, we're never saying that again because that really sucked, and we should have said we'll deal with that later. Whatever the case, like, you just have to be consistent with
That's
what
so
you say
good.
so that they know what you say you mean and it matters and you're going to follow through and I can count on you. There's a lot of things shifting in this world, but what my parents say, they mean.
Ooh,
And they're
I
going
can count on
to be
you.
here for me no matter
That's
what.
good.
And they're also going to hold me accountable. I don't know what you want to add to all that.
I also believe that friends, right? So kids' friends, they bring home, there's multiple examples here, but just watching friends react and what they do, and then our kids talk about it, and we'll have, when they're younger, teaching moments. A very specific one, when London was little, we were at Chili's, and there was a couple tables over. This kid was throwing a huge tantrum, huge. The parents were trying to talk him down, and I remember just looking at London real quick. She looked at me, and I said, "What do you think about that?" She's like, "That kid's in trouble." I'm like, "That's right. Like that? No, we're not going to do that." But ultimately, using the friends as examples and trying to teach them that what we really should do. Why are they doing that? And then going further, like, hey, like that kid's not making good decisions, whether, alcohol, drugs, or whatever. Like, what do you think about it? Of course, talking about it, but making sure that they can see, one, that's not good. Two, do your parents do that? No, we don't do that. So trying to be that example.
Yeah, that's really good.
And it goes back to explaining to them, this is why.
This is why.
Well, and this would be a whole nother podcast, but whether it's about all the things they're going to get approached to as they're leading into teenage years, sex and dating and alcohol and drugs and parties and friends and all the influence, we were really firm believers on, like, we talked about all that stuff way before it was ever a thing for them, right? Like, we're going to talk about sex with our kids way before that's something they even really know what it is. Like, you're going to hear about this from us first. Yeah. You're going to know what the Bible says about it first, way before your friends are mentioning it. You're hearing these words thrown around. We're going to talk about what you're going to do. Not, okay, that my kids are just never going to be at a party with alcohol. Like they're just never going to be. No, we're going to talk about when you are. And, like, how are you going to make that choice? And what is that going to look like if you're doing something different than everyone else? Like, we had so many conversations because I just, to say that's never going to happen and, like, their friends are never going to do that. And that would be so silly of us. And ultimately they have free will and we don't make the decisions for our kids. That's good. But I'm going to give them all the prep I can and to try to get, like I said, into their heart before those moments happen. That's really and they're thinking through, okay, what do I want to do? And let me have a plan. Let me have a plan for how I'm going to handle that. Right. And just walking them through that, I think, is so helpful. Yeah. I feel like it has been helpful. That's so good. But
I feel like a lot of I know for me, you may not feel this way. For me, I feel like what would keep me from talking about the list you just laid out, drugs, sex, partying, the whole list, is the fear of what if. Well, on the backside of that, if you don't talk about it, and their friends and your kids find out, and they're engaging in it, that's right. Now you're living in what you feared most.
Well, and if you mean what if, as in, like, what if they didn't know it exists? I'm like, yes, at 4, but I'm telling you, there is no chance. No chance. There is no chance they're not going to know. I mean, I remember Madden being way too young, and I picked her. It was her and a friend in the backseat of my car, way too young, maybe 8th grade, in the car, talking about how this girl and this boy had sex behind the football field, and everybody at school knew. And I've always told parents too, like, you got to be unshockable, okay? Like, unshockable. You're going to hear all the things, and if you're the one that's like, if you freak out about every little thing, like, they're not going to come talk to me. And I don't mean unshockable like, oh, that's cool. No. Like, we're going to talk about it, but I'm not going to be like, I cannot believe this, and I'm just overwhelmed, and I don't know what to say. And it's like, I want to be able to have those conversations and be able to, in that moment, we were talking about how, that girl can do different things with her life. She could repent tomorrow, like her reputation, though, that's never going to go away. Like, it's those moments of any examples way before it's a thing for my kids that, like, I'm hoping I'm going to plant a seed of, like, there will always be restoration. There's nothing you could ever do that would make us love you any less. Right. But that doesn't take away consequences of any of our choices. And there are just real things that happen when we make one choice, and it can be this or this or this, and, like, man, how sad for that girl. Everyone in the school's talking about this, and man, you're going to remember that when you hear her name forever. Like, just those moments. But to say that I don't want to bring it up because, man, I don't want to introduce this to them. No, you want to be the one to introduce it to them through your lens, through the biblical lens, because it's coming at them either way.
What would you say to parents who feel ill-equipped or uncertain of how to navigate?
I would say seek people who can give you, advice. I mean, there's lots of other places, like join a parenting life group with a parent who's walked through this before. Right. We had lots of good advice. I read books. Again, I'm raising girls. I was seeking all the information I could. We did Passport to Purity with all my girls, as they were entering middle school, introducing those. That's a resource that's there. I didn't have to just come up with it all off the top of my head. Right. It's something you can utilize. Yeah. One of the best things, I feel like, a visual that I had given my girls, and it's because I stole it from someone else, and I did it every time on our weekends when we did Passport to Purity, is I just had them, I was like, what are all the dreams you have for your life? Anything. I want to be a mom, I want to do this, all these things. And then we drew a timeline, a straight line. It was okay, here's when you're born. Okay, let's say this is your whole life, and it's most of the things they listed were going to be, once you're I want to do this job, I want to have kids, I want to do this, was over here. And I was on this timeline of your life, your teenage years is this much of your life. It is a blip. But the decisions that you make in this tiny section of life can alter all of those things you listed. It can change the whole trajectory. Because when our kids are teenagers, it feels like that's all that matters.
Yes,
whether
so true.
I fit in with this group, whether this person thinks I'm cool. Yeah. It feels like it is all that literally matters. And just giving them that perspective. Again, this was middle school. I'm not saying we didn't reintroduce these things through all of the years and different conversations, but just getting that into their head of listen, it feels like it's all that matters, but there's so much more on the other side of it. And every decision you make affects everything that you get to do later. I love that. But that's stuff we got from other people is the point. So you don't have to navigate all this on your own. You don't have to figure it out for yourself. Yeah. So
that's so good.
With that question, basically what you're asking is, how do you be intentional about finding information or the how-to on approach these subjects? Because the idea of just it's never going to happen, or when it comes up, I'll just be able to stiff arm it. You're already behind the game. You're late. Yeah. You're late, especially in this day and age with all the social media. And then again, your kids are the little kids growing up in the big sister, big brother world. You're literally behind, but just being intentional, trying to find those things, and then the flip side of it, you're intentional about actually doing it. Right? With Jenny doing the Passport to Purity, I'm I don't know anything about that. And thank God she's a good mommy who does that with the kiddos. That is helped.
You'd have done it if it was boys.
100%.
There we go. No, you'll take the dogs, the boys.
I have the dogs.
Where the boys at?
Yeah, I'll take the minors.
I'm not in charge of the boys. That's him.
That's the boys. The boy yeah. Okay. I feel like we need to splice that all that we just talked about and make that a separate podcast. Because that was a little. That was a lot. A little venture. Okay. All right. What have you done to keep sports, academics, or success in proper perspective for your kids?
I feel like in a really good nutshell, it's all about their personal effort. Them, whether you succeed or whether you don't, you win or you lose. Volleyball's a very easy example. Did you win a game? Did you lose a game? Did you get the position? Did you make the team? Or even in their academics, how hard are you trying? Are you just not trying at all and you're acing the class, or maybe you need a harder class, right? An AP class to actually challenge you. But we try our hardest not to all A's, yay, no. We are really, we can watch them at the dinner table doing their homework, not doing their homework. We can watch them on the volleyball court. How much are they putting in the effort, or softball, or whatever, basketball, whatever they're playing. And then even being a sister to their other sisters. How much effort are you doing to trying to be a loving sister? Or even putting into being a consumer versus a producer at our house. How much effort are you doing to do the dishes, or put out the trash, or help with the boys, right? Help with the dogs? Or are you just running upstairs and consuming all of our groceries and sleeping on our bed,
all the free amenities,
all the free, right. But personal effort.
That's really good.
That's great.
Each one of them.
Yeah, specifically having, like we said, Quinn has dyslexia, and she's doing so good. She's straight A, she's awesome. But we put a lot, that girl has worked so hard, so much intervention. But, like, just that one example of academics, like her personal best might look different than Madden's or whatever it might be. And she's always done great in school, even with that. But just taking each of your kids as they are and saying, I want your best, and I need that to be your best. So if that's an A for this kid, it might be a B for this kid, or whatever in academics. But, like, just assessing each one and, like, are you putting forth your best effort? Because that's all I'm asking for out of you. You know, and we're not going to have the same measuring stick for each of them, whether it's in academics or whatever, you know. In sports,
I love that
whatever.
because it cultivates a instead of a comparison to a friend or their own sister, they're comparing against themselves.
That's right.
And they're wanting to just grow in and of themselves rather than comparing to the other person.
And they are going to compare. That's the thing, right? And they are, but as far as knowing what
you're
parents,
concerned
like,
about.
I am not going to be upset at you no matter the outcome if you have put your best effort in.
Right.
And that's all I'm asking for.
We
Because honestly,
really good.
the world comes at them. They're comparing themselves constantly, especially girls.
Yeah.
I mean, everything from how they look to how they dress and the clothes I have and all that. And, like, there's so much of that, and all I can do is what I can do to combat that. And I'm trying, but, like, as far as we are concerned,
their
you're,
personal best.
you know, you're doing their best. But one funny story of just how our parenting, like, the girls have always been very athletic, sweet girls, strong and athletic girls, and, like, they were little, and it was like the toad suck race, you know, when they're like 5, they can do, and, like, it's one of the first ones they did, and they've just always raced. They did triathlons for years. They've done so many cool things, but it was like one of the first times, and I remember going to Madden, and I'm like, just do your best and just have fun, and then Thomas was like, there's a trophy, and if you get first, you can win the trophy, and here's how you're going to get it. I mean, it's just like, you know, it's like we come at things differently, too. And, of course, if they had gotten last place, I've never heard him come down on them for one thing in their life, honestly, in that regard. Like, he is absolutely not that dad, but, like, he's going to give them all the technical skills that are going to help them be their best. Anyway, because it's just funny.
Right. If I looked at back then, you look at Madden, I'm like, oh no, she really could win this thing. Like, all right, we're going to give you some pointers here. Let's stay on the inside lane, run hard first so you're in the front, you don't get bunched up, and then right after you pass the turn, you hit the jets, right? You just go.
I'm like,
and it worked every time, which is great, right? But if I had gotten the idea that they weren't going to do that, of course I'd probably be more on do your best, honey. I'm like, oh no, you can actually win this. So
let's thank girl.
It's just funny. I just remember being like, you know, it takes both of us. That's why that's why you're in a family. That's right. That's why you have two parents. The Lord brings a mom and a dad together.
Yes, that's hilarious.
Y'all mentioned a little bit earlier, you've said no to a lot of good things and explaining the reasons why. Can you share a time you said no to a good thing or a good opportunity because it threatens something more important to your family?
Yeah, this one.
Recent example.
Yep. So London, she just finished her high school volleyball. They won state, and she was selected for the all-star team for the state. Kind of a big deal. But Jenny and I had planned a family trip to Scottsdale, Grand Canyon, family trip, right? Well, we didn't know there was going to be this volleyball. We had no clue. So then we're getting ready for our trip, and we're about a month out, maybe 3 weeks out, and then we get the notification that London has made the team. Well, at this point, we knew London wasn't going to play in college anymore, so we thought, well, this could be our last trip to see London play some volleyball. But once we figured out it was on the same day, we're like, oh, man. So we had a choice, right? Do we cancel our whole family trip to watch London play a game in which we've watched her play 8 years of volleyball? Or do we respect everybody and everything that we've done for our family and stick with the family idea? And so we said, sorry, London, like, it's a great accolade. That's awesome, right? Kudos. You're written down team. People will see you're on the roster. You just don't, Jenny and I don't get to see you play again. We're going to go on a trip. And of course, we feel like we prioritize family and we feel like the kids understood this is what we're doing. It's not like we have a whip to them, but we're trying to provide the why and stick with our consistency. And there are times when I think, man, I really wish that we would have watched her one more time. But you know what? We've watched a lot of volleyball with her, and we'll see her in intramurals one day playing volleyball too. But that's
just one recent example.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a million of those things.
That's
you know?
right.
So talk to me through. She ended up playing.
No. We went on our family trip.
She
did not play. Yeah,
we went on
our family trip.
Yep.
Wow. How was her response?
I feel like it was positive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she understood. Like everybody knew she was good, right? And so for her to make the team wasn't this complete shocker. So she understood the family thing, and the whole time we were on our trip, she's engaged with the trip. She's not talking about volleyball.
She wishes she could have done both,
not at all,
she was
right?
she was good.
She was good. I truly feel like there was no bad attitude at all towards why are we here at the Grand Canyon.
Well, and I feel like you guys, that decision was not just one decision that you guys have made.
Yeah.
Right. It was based on several years of your family growing up in a culture where family is the priority.
Yes. I mean, it's back to saying, you know, you can each do one activity at a time. I mean, there were 3 kids, and we made that decision early on.
Yeah.
Like, one activity can be 2 nights a week of a practice. Like, we cannot do more than that. You know, and there's families where their kids do 10 different things, and it's just how it was for us. We've got church as a priority, our family's a priority, family time. Each of you guys, we're going to pick one activity, and that still was a lot with 3 kids. But that was like, you know, a foundation to even something like this.
Right.
Like, hey, here's
Leading up
you
to
know,
she wasn't
things like
she
that.
wasn't surprised whenever that was the decision. She's like,
Correct.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes
no, we
sense.
didn't get any pushback
We
from
even
her.
like tried to think, okay, can we push the trip back? Can we move it up? And then we're like, no, this is just impossible. So in not canceling it, we went. But again, I agree. Like all the steps built up to that this last episode to where she took it like a champ.
Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah. Great job to y'all. I know it's not easy on either end.
Yeah.
The receiving end for London or
That's right.
the delivery end for you guys.
Right.
You're
Right.
like, man, this is...
I'd watch my kids play chess or checkers. I don't care. I love watching my kids do whatever, right? But missing that one, again, for me, it was just like, oh, man, I'd love to watch her play one more time. But, again, it's we all sacrificed on that one.
Yeah, that's good. I love this question. How did you keep, or do you keep, faith from becoming just one more activity and instead making it a part of the culture of your home?
That's a really good question. And, you know, you look back and you think, gosh, I don't know. I don't even know that I did anything. I didn't do enough. You know, like, so I'm going to start with, like, my biggest heart's prayer was always with the Lord. Will you please see my intentions? Like, I know how many ways I'm going to fail and all the ways I'm going to mess up, Lord. I'm praying that you see our intent with our kids and that you fill in the gap because there's just going to be so many ways we mess up and times we made one decision and we're like, oh my gosh, we should have done something else, you know. But in general, like, we wanted the faith in our kids to be real, you know. Like, I remember when they were younger thinking, Lord, like, I just want when they get older for it to be real to them. Like, I know I can't manufacture that. It has to just be something that's in them. And, like, Lord, I'm praying for that, and please show us what we need to do for that, you know, that we're building that. And now we have these 2 kids that are, you know, practically adults and out, and like, they're not done growing and things can happen, but like as it is right now, I'm just like, Lord, thank you for that answered prayer. Like, their faith is real to them, and it is personal. And like, I sit at church and we're in a row, and you know, each of my girls have their journal open and their Bibles filled with writings, and I'm just like Lord, thank you so much, you know, because I know how much that's going to impact their life today and like in all the years of their life that they have that foundation. But just, I don't know, I mean, devotions around the dinner table as often as you can, praying with your kids before bedtime, talking through things through the lens of the Bible. Like I said, all of the things that come at them. Like, and again, not like, we're not wordy, preachy people. We are very down to earth and with our kids, but just, you know, here's what this says, and here's the way I interpret this, and here's what I think the Bible means with this, and here's how it can apply to our life here. And just, again, it's like almost like a constant drip onto them, I think, is the way that has to happen, rather than these big moments of like,
that's really good.
Let's sit down and have this big discussion. So I don't know if that answers that. But
no, it does.
That's really good.
There was a moment, it's probably 3 weeks ago now. So at the end of service, at the end of church, Pastor Amir, Pastor Hunter will call people up, right? And so there's one time Madden came up to the front with us, because we'll sit on the side and we'll pray with those who need prayer. But I was like, oh, Madden's right here. Oh, cool. And then which I didn't expect. And then a lady came up and she told us what she needed prayer for. And Madden's like, okay, I'll pray. And I was expecting just to take it over, and she stepped out. Yeah, sure, go ahead. The most, I don't know if eloquent, but it was the most prayer, God-driven prayer for this lady. And when she was praying, like, I was tearing up. And then she was done. Madden was done, and I'm like, okay, right? And I gave her a hug. Like, weird time to give my daughter a hug during church, but I'm like, bravo. Like, where did you learn that from? And, of course, you know, she, with Elevation and kid life, all that growing up in church, but I feel like you start with the faith-driven stuff in the very beginning, the devotions, and just keeping that culture at home. And, of course, it's not only me and Jenny, nor is it not only the church or only Elevation, but that kid, Madden, I mean, we're just like, golly, you have come this far to be leading prayers at church, which, again, I never saw that coming, but now that I see her potential even more, I'm like, oh, man, y'all better get out of the way. She may be preaching. She may be preaching up there one day.
Let her go.
Sweet girl.
I love that girl.
That's incredible. Just to see the intentional consistency.
Yeah.
Even in the spiritual sense. Yeah. It feels like you got to hit a home run every day.
Yeah,
to me, it's like, man, I gotta let him know. I need to teach Denver the gospel. He's got to get saved today.
Oh, come on, Lord!
It's the everyday, nonstop personal devotion by you, and then in 16 years, you see, oh wow,
right,
the work that's come together from this, and so thanks for sharing a little bit behind the scenes.
That's so good.
One of these further down questions, we're gonna skip ahead. How do you cheer loudly for your kids without letting the world convince them their worth is in what they do?
I think maybe to, like, duplicate things we've already said, like just the consistency, like consistently loving them, consistently giving them boundaries, like being that safe place for them to land,
regardless,
like where they know what to expect in our home. It's not like our home is not one more place where there's shifting sand. Like they're gonna walk in, they know what to expect, they know we're gonna be there, we're gonna be consistent, and so we're just loving them no matter what, like through the times we have to correct and through the times we're cheering them on and saying, man, you hit a home run, you did so awesome at this. We're just there through it all, being very consistent, hopefully trying to anyway.
Thomas said, this is the house of winners out here.
We got a lot of trophies. We got a lot of trophies.
It's like pulling trophies out of the cabinet. Hey, you get this one today. I would say, like a bigger word, just being present as much as possible, right? So, again, whether they win or lose, whether they want to talk about a boy or a friend or their school or their dreams, right? Or even their memories that they had from back. I mean, it's easy to just shut someone off and keep going, while I'm watching the Razorbacks play, right? I'm like, so there are times that I'm like, pause. Thank God for pause. I can pause it and actually, right? Because I mean,
that's a word,
right? I mean, right. Just pause and listen. But being present for them to show that they are worth my time, right? Just literally worth it, because there are multiple people in this world who don't have someone to sit down with nor have someone to actually pour into them. And sometimes I feel like I'm not pouring in, more like a trickle, but sometimes that trickle adds up, and then maybe one day I can pour in a little bit more. But it is tiresome. It really is. But when you get to see one of my kids praying on the front row for another lady, I'm like, okay. I see where this was going.
I can do this again.
I can, re-energize. Like, okay, I'm ready to go again.
Well, and just to shout him out as a dad of girls, I mean, we all know how important that is in this world. And, like, they've had nobody better. Like, he was just built to be a girl dad. I've always said that. Truly, he really is. I mean, he has, like, the intentional time with them. They are all so close to him, like, individually. Like, just individual things that is, like, their thing with him. And you've done that since they were so little. And I mean, I'm raising these girls and knowing what is coming at them, and like that strong foundation with their dad is huge. I think for them having the confidence in this world to just not be blown over by, I need all the attention, whether it's from other males or even just friends and all of the pieces that come with it. Like, they've got this guy in their corner, like they don't need anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
then,
so good. Just being ready to guide them in the next season, you know, as they're looking at what does it look like I'm dating and a husband and how they need to treat me anyway. He's done such a good job, but like, it cannot be overstated, the importance I think of, you know, I've been there for all the deep talks, not that he hasn't, but like so much more of that. And he is just that solid rock for them, and like truly strong relationships with each of his girls in the sweetest way. So
and
so
we don't
important.
have time to dive into
So
this,
important.
but I do want to. I can tell your girls adore you. They love their dad.
Yeah.
And I talk to so many dads, and this is where we can't dive in today, but they are. If there's a girl that's like them, like loves sports, loves hunting, he's like, that's my girl. Like, this. But if there's one that's not like that, that's more maybe scholastic, loves to read,
dance,
right?
You know.
He's like, I don't know how to connect with her, but it's you that's taking the intentional time to figure out how do I get close to your heart? How do I pursue you?
Good.
How do I get in your world and not allow? Hey, are you going to come to me?
Yeah.
Are you going to come in my world?
Good.
That's right.
And man,
That's good, man.
that's something for dads that maybe if you feel like this isn't your strength, this can be your strength. What would you say to a dad like right now that's maybe feeling that way?
I feel like you got to flex is the best way I could say it. So if you, like the season that we are with London, if you don't know, if I know where she was last year and what she liked and what she didn't like and how I could be close with her, well, this coming year, it's going to change.
Yeah.
So when it changes, I need to be able to, okay, you're more interested in this now and you're less interested in this. So I need to be able to move with the times, right? For the people who, let's just say, aren't that intentional about it, I feel for them because their kids, in hindsight, may think, it was okay. But man, I love my time with my kids, and I sure hope that on the flip side that they really gained some appreciation on how much Gina and I were actually trying to pay attention to what they liked and what they didn't like. Right?
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on the Stronger Families podcast. If today's episode encouraged you, share it with another family who could use it. And remember that when God strengthens you, He strengthens your family. So let's keep building stronger families together.